Hello everyone, in this video we're going to start our second project. We're going to start by logging into our TinkerCAD account. We're going to click on the TinkerCAD logo to come back to our dashboard, and then we're going to get started. First we're going to go up to the Learn option on the right hand side. Then we're going to go into Projects, and then we're going to click on Let's Learn TinkerCAD, the second project that we're going to do in this class. As I mentioned in the previous video, you can read this description on your side, so feel free to pause the video now or at any point in the video to make sure that you can read what's on the side, in the instructions. And then down at the bottom, we can see that there are 5 lessons in this lesson or this project. So I think I'm going to go through just the first lesson in this video, and then you can do the other 4. So it says getting started, navigation and menus. Let's resume that. Okay, I've already started, but when you're done, everything will check off as done. And we can see there's 20 steps in this video. Okay, that's a little much for a quick tutorial video. So I'm probably just going to go into probably step 10 or 11, sort of the halfway point. Okay, and that should be enough to get you started. So it says getting started, navigation and menus. Welcome to the world of design. Design is the art of discovering all the things that haven't been made yet. It is equal parts learning and teaching, breaking and making, seeing and showing. Design is sharing. And that's a really big concept in design. Okay, another big concept in design is there is no wrong answer. Okay, there is no right answer. It's up to you to build something that meets us or that designs a solution to a problem. Okay, so TinkerCAD is pretty amazing. They're telling you that they're pretty amazing themselves, which is it's true. TinkerCAD is a pretty great tool. So let's go ahead and get started and click next. So it says, welcome to TinkerCAD. I'm not going to read through all this text, but it looks like we're going to be trying to build something similar to this. Maybe. So let's continue to the next step. So arriving in TinkerCAD, when you first arrive in TinkerCAD, you will see the work plane. That's this big blue build plate. It looks like a blank sheet of graph paper. That'll help us line stuff up. And we can also find the TinkerCAD logo in the upper left, where we can return back to our dashboard. Okay, so now let's take a detailed look at the work plane. So go ahead and click next. So it says continue to the next step as my instruction. Make sure you read all the text before you click next. You don't want to just jump through all this. So the next one says exploring the work plane. It says the work plane looks like a piece of graph paper. It is broken up into 1 centimeter major grid lines. So these dark lines are 1 centimeter. And then the smaller ones are millimeters. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to trust them on that rather than counting. And in the lower right hand corner, the edit grid button allows you to change the units of your design. Okay, so let's click on edit grid, and we can see that we can set it to millimeters, inches, or bricks. Let's stick in millimeters, a metric system because we're in Canada, and we can set our build plate volume. Okay, that's pretty cool. The CR10s that we have in school actually have a build volume of 300. So we could change that. Let's just go ahead and change that and update grid, and yeah, look at that, that's much bigger. So now this gives you an idea. Our 3D printer, the plate is this big. So when you're building your shape, you can get an idea of how big your shape is going to be. So let's go ahead and click next. It says your view in TinkerCAD is called the camera. In fact, the terms we are going to use are movie camera terms: tilt, rotate, pan, and zoom. So let's just scroll down. Whoa, there's 5 instructions this time. So let's go through each one. And we might not be making it to step 10, but that's okay. So number 1, as you hover your cursor over the view cube, different areas will highlight. So let's try that. So let's hover our cursor and look at that. We can see these little blue boxes highlight. Okay. It says clicking on any of the highlighted areas of the view cube will rotate to that camera view. So let's check out what does front look like. Okay. So I'm guessing if I click down here or this arrow, I'll go to the bottom. Okay. So these are orthographic views looking straight onto a shape. And then if I want a perspective view, if I click on the edge of the cube, I'll sort of get an angle. Okay, and I can see I can click on the corners as well. So go ahead and click on different areas of the view cube. I just did that. And you want to move your camera back to where you started, click the home button below the view cube. So let's click on home and look at that. It brings us right back to the start. That's pretty neat. Those are handy tools to help you navigate around this screen. So let's go ahead and click next. And what are the hints? See the orange shapes in the middle of the work plane? Those are called hints. So these orange shapes are hints. Hints are outlines of shapes or work planes to guide you through the lessons. Okay, so they're like little markers. So when you're first starting off, it may say like drag a box onto the screen, but you'll be asking yourself, where do I drag it? Well, if there's a hint, drag it to where you see the hint. So let's go ahead and click next. It's going over the shapes menu on the right hand side. So it says find the basic shapes menu and drag a box to the work plane and place it within the hint. Okay, so we just noticed that the previous step is giving us an idea of what to do in this step. So the shape menu is over here on the right. We can click on box and we can drag it out into the orange shape. So I'm just dragging it out by left clicking on the shape, holding it and pulling it out. So I'm going to hit next. View your object from all sides. Rotate your shape and check to see if it is completely within the hint. Okay, so I can use the view cube or I can use my mouse. Since we learned about the view cube earlier, let's use the view cube. So let's go to the front. It looks like it's lined up. Let's go to the bottom. Looks like it's lined up, and let's go to the side. It looks like it's lined up. If things weren't lined up, you might see something like, ooh, looks like my view cube is gone. I must have got the view cube straight on earlier, but that's okay. Okay, so we're in the space, so we're going to click next. And it says the last step here that we're going to do in this video is zooming. If you have a mouse with a scroll wheel, use it for zooming in and out. Okay, that's pretty cool. So I'm rotating the mouse wheel on my mouse up and down to zoom in and out. And then it says if you use a touchpad, you will zoom using the gesture that you normally use in other apps when wanting to zoom. On our laptops in the classroom, that is 2 fingers placed on the trackpad and you move in an up-down motion. Okay, a virtual mouse wheel. So that's it. I think I can leave you at this point and you can continue on through all the steps, 10 through 20. When you're finished, remember to go back and complete the other lessons. So let's see what that would look like really quick. So we can see it's keeping track of my lessons. Let's go to congratulations and we'll hit done. And you'll notice that when the lesson's complete, it'll say testing your new navigation skills. And that's the next lesson. So you can hit continue. Okay. So at any point in time, you can use this menu to sort of jump around. If you're finding it too easy, you can skip ahead. If you're finding it really easy, you can just maybe jump to the instructions, especially in this first lesson about navigation. But I would highly recommend that in future lessons, you read all of the text on the side. Thanks for joining us, and I will do one more quick video to introduce you, to the last project.